In this particular video presentation, I will be showing some of the different types of connecting blocks, telephone jacks, and other kind of apparatus that was used in the telephone industry. This is a collection of Bell System, Cook Electric, as well as others, lightning protectors, terminal strips, ringers, bells, chimes, and so forth. We're looking at some ringer boxes, and then over on the most right hand side is a power supply. I believe that was a 10-volt power supply that was used for like the 3-line, 3-hold key phones and other items that needed 10 volts AC. The ringer boxes can have straight line 20 cycle ringers or frequency ringers. Some of these had tubes for multi-party ringing as well as relays for multi-party ringing. Directly above the ringer boxes is a bunch of 4-prong plugs, and I do have a couple more I have yet to put up there. These were found on the phones in the 1960s and early 70s. At the very top is some of the backboards that was used for the 554s. And then of course there's some that was made to go around the modular 630 type wall plates. Directly below them is my ringer test assembly. This is actually the display part of it for 4-party line and frequency ringing. I do have a video showing the ringers working. I have an assortment of G handsets. Some of these are amplified handsets for the receiver side, the transmitter side, as well as a couple are push to talk. They're Western Electric and then other manufacturers. I have some bell chimes and S1A ringer as well as some outdoor ringers. In addition to this, I have some telephones that are technically junk phones. One of the things that I have noticed whenever there has been visitors here, often people would pick up a phone and look at the bottom of it. So I decided out of all of the phones I had that was being parted out, that some of them I could mount without their shells and some of the components on the wall to show the inside of the phone. And I've had some fairly positive responses to that. I have some 1A key equipment and some 400 series phones. This is a future project to make the phones and the 1A stuff work. This is not my entire collection of 1A parts. Here's just a few more odds and ends that I have collected. Here's an assortment of items that's in my central office. Everything except for the intercom on the most left side is functional. I have a 4-party line on the end of my mainframe for testing the superimposed ringing, and I have one number that's ringing the second bell. All of the black phones that we're looking at are connected to my different switching systems for ringing, testing of ringing, and calling between the exchanges. I'm in my 1A2 key phone display room, and I have a whole bunch of items that would typically be found in the business environment. And again, I have a bunch of junker phones that's got the shells removed so you can see the inside of them. There is a little bit of duplication with these items. Lightning protectors, telephone jacks, different types of interfaces for private line equipment, as well as security alarm, RJ31X type jacks, 400 type KTUs, 66 blocks. The two units here right above the phones are voice couplers. And then we have other types of connecting blocks and apparatus used in the key system world. Here's some 66 block wall cans, 50 pair lightning protector, other types of interface devices, a splice case, and then some unused 1A2 specialized key units for consoles. And then here are two 100 pair protectors. I have an industrial horn as well as a apparatus cabinet that could hold a 1A dialer, different gongs, bells, and a Merlin. Just a little bonus video. This is the rear of a crossbar switch. These are the mini crossbars. There's 100 lines in this particular module. And this is the front of the crossbar switches. These are what's called the mini CF type switches. This is a 400 line exchange. Here's just a few more odds and ends that's in my central office. Payphones, key phones, signs, and so forth. Here's additional equipment that's mounted on the end of my mainframe. A number 3 test cabinet on the right, a 554 with a 6050 key, as well as a few other odds and ends. I have some multi-zone paging, dial intercoms, power supplies, and a 35 watt amplifier for my central office paging, and various types of interface units for coupling audio. Here's a view of my workbench. This is where I repair most of my telephones and equipment that I build. And for those who have never seen what the top of a step-by-step or a crossbar cabling of a central office looks like, here's the view from a ladder. I am 9 foot off the floor. Actually, the camera is approximately 10 foot off the floor. So this is a medium height environment. Some of the cable rack is what's called panned and horn, where the cable is not laced in. This is for people who really like to see a lot of wire. And there's thousands and thousands of feet of it in this building. I am coming over to the cable rack that has been sewed. And I'll zoom in on a little bit of this. I have spent a lot of hours lacing this cable in. I did this type of work professionally for a few years, so it's not a big issue, but it is still very time consuming. Unfortunately, the lighting is not great right here where I'm at. These are the cables that go over to the waterfall for the number 3 crossbar switching system. Here's the top of the mainframe with all of the waterfalls going down on the verticals. This will be the end of the video.